Hey guys, it's Drew again. Let me ask you a quick question. What's something about your life that you love to remember that most people don't? That's a question I used to ask a number of ball players when I used to write through the mail for autographs, and I thought I'd pull a couple out and share some of the fun responses that I got all those years ago. So let's check it out. So years ago, I used to do TTM, and a lot of guys did, and it was just a phase I went through. I did it for about 3 or 4 years, had a blast. I really got some really cool responses and autographs, and just a great experience. And I'm really cherished those memories. And I keep a binder. In fact, the binder, it's huge. I mean, this is everything that I got TTM, and I've just had a great time. And every once in a while, I'll dig through the binder and just kind of relive those memories. Well, one of the things I used to do was I would write a letter to the player, and they were all the same. And I'll show you an example. So I would handwrite it out, and I would list 3 questions. And 3 of the questions that I would list often were, number 1, who is the toughest player you hated to face in a tough spot? Number 2, what's the greatest thrill you had in your playing career? And the third one, which is the one I mentioned, what's something you remember about your career that most people don't? And I always loved the response to that. And not every player wrote answers, but when they did, I really appreciated them taking the time. The guys that sent back, they would sign the card that I would send, and also I would always include a blank index card within the envelope just to see what they did. And a lot of guys just signed the index card too. I liked when they sent me personalized stuff, and it was just a lot of fun. It was just a great way to connect, learn about players that I didn't know or I kind of forgotten about, and just sort of kind of live within the world that I'll never be around actually being a Major League ball player. So I want to go through some of the answers, and I just pulled some random ones out, and I thought they were kind of fun. So the first one I'm going to talk is Mark Gubiza. So Mark Gubiza, I actually remember he pitched Royals. You guys remember him, especially if you're my age range. But the toughest player he hated to face was Don Mattingly. What was the greatest thrill? He said winning the 85 World Series. And honestly, that was pretty much the answer for most players, was if they had won a World Series. But anyway, what's something that he remembers that most people don't? He said, I won my first game, my 20th game, and my 100th career game, all with a shutout. I thought that was kind of cool. And you're right, that's not something most people would know, but definitely something he would cherish. Another one, and man, this one was really cool. So I remember so many stories about this player. I don't remember seeing him play, a little bit before my time, but Dave Cash. And I got this nice 72 signed by him. So he said the toughest player he hated to face, he said that's tough to say because there was a lot of great pitchers. And that's a good statement. Again, what was the greatest thrill? Winning the 1971 World Series. And the last one, something you remember that most people don't. In 1 year, he had over 690 at-bats and only 13 strikeouts. Oh, really impressive. Over 600, well over 600, and only 13 strikeouts. That's pretty good. Another one, Bob Friend. So this is a great one, and this is one of those examples where he not only signed the card, but he signed a whole lot of stuff on the index card. And a great little signature, too. I like seeing the handwriting and that kind of stuff. But Bob Friend, who is the toughest player that he hated to face, he listed 2. Hank Aaron, Stan Musial, can't blame him. With greatest thrill, 1960 World Series, so another Pirate World Series champion. And the thing that he remembers that most don't is he pitched 14 years without ever missing one start. That is incredible. I just can't imagine 14 years as a major league pitcher and never missed a start. So really kind of neat one. All right, the next one was Jeff Montgomery, which I remember him as well. And I've got a Bowman card signed by him, showing him in his his Royals uniform. And this one I thought was interesting, especially for all you certain player haters out there. Who was the toughest player you hated to face in a tough spot? He picked Harold Baines. Harold Baines, that's right, Hall of Famer Harold Baines. So I thought that was interesting that out of all the players that he faced, Harold Baines was his toughest one. Greatest thrill was the first day he got to play in the major leagues. And something he remembers most don't, he had an immaculate inning, 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts, 1 inning. So really cool. Another one I got, and I picked this one. His answers were great, but he has one of the coolest signatures ever. But this is a guy, honestly, I didn't know who he was. He's just what we would call a common card from back in the 60s. But when you look him up, really kind of neat. So his name is Stan Williams, And Stan Williams, the toughest player he had to face was Henry Hank Aaron. Greatest thrill was just, he had many great thrills, but making the majors, the first of his 6 World Series, and his arm returning from an injury after 6.5 years of being in pain. What's something he remembers that most don't was my first home run. The fact that I was the ace of a Dodgers staff in 1960 prior to my injury. So here's the Stan Williams card in 1961. But look at that signature. That's just cool. I don't know. Personalize it to me. Really neat. And he was the Dodger ace after the Brooklyn years, but before the Koufax dominance. And but he was on that team. So there you go, Stan Williams. And as I look through the book and the binder of different, experiences or memories that I have, this was now, I don't know, 10, 12, 14, 15 years ago when I was doing all this. And a lot of these guys have passed away, and guys that I didn't show. But I just thought it's fun every once in a while to pull them out. There's not a ton of value. There are a few Hall of Famers that I got, a few people that have passed away since then that are Hall of Famers, and that's a big rage right now is Hall of Famed autograph cards. But to me, it's not about the value. It's just about the memories of when I would write and when I would see my handwriting come back on that envelope. Oh, it was so exciting to figure out who it was and when did I send it and what did I send them and what did they say and did they send everything back or nothing. Sometimes they didn't send the card I gave them and sent me a wrong card. There's just so many great stories and a lot of fun, a lot of memories. And I thought I'd share some of those with you today. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you guys are doing well. Until next time, you guys be good.